Billionaire came home to surprise his mother, but what he found broke his heart. Daniel Carter stepped out of the airport and paused. For a moment he simply stood there. The air smelled like home. 5 long years. 5 years since he had last walked these streets. 5 years since he hugged his mother. His heart was racing. This was supposed to be the happiest day of his life. Daniel smiled as he pulled his suitcase behind him. He imagined the moment already. His mother opening the door, her eyes filling with tears, her arms wrapping around him. He would tell her the news. Everything had changed. The poor boy she raised had become a billionaire. Her sacrifices were finally going to pay off. She would never struggle again. But Daniel had no idea that, in just a few hours, his entire world would collapse. Because the house he built for his mother no longer held the life he believed she was living. And the truth waiting for him would break his heart. Hello friends. Welcome to our story. Before we continue, please like the video and subscribe. And tell us in the comments where you are watching from. Maybe the United States, the UK, Nigeria, Canada, or somewhere else in the world. We love hearing from you. Now, let's continue. Daniel Carter was famous. Magazines wrote about him. Business channels talked about him. People called him a genius. At just 32 years old, he owned technology companies, luxury hotels, and real estate around the world. But Daniel never forgot where he came from. Because once upon a time, he was just a poor boy. And the reason he succeeded had a name. Mama Grace, his mother. When Daniel was only 8 years old, his father died in a construction accident. Life became very hard. The little money they had disappeared quickly. But Mama Grace refused to give up. She worked everywhere. She washed clothes. She cleaned houses. She cooked for families who barely noticed her. Sometimes she worked 3 different jobs in one day. When she came home at night, her body was so tired she could barely stand. But every morning she smiled at Daniel. Today will be a good day, she always said. Even when it wasn't. Even when they had almost no food. If Daniel was hungry, she gave him her own portion. I already ate, she would say. Daniel knew it was a lie. But he also knew his mother was proud. So he ate quietly and promised himself something. One day he would change her life. Daniel studied harder than anyone. He stayed up late reading books from the library. He learned about computers, about business, about technology. His teachers noticed. Soon he received a scholarship to college. Mama Grace cried the day he left for school. But they were happy tears. You will go far, my son, she told him. And she was right. After graduation, Daniel got a job at a small tech company. The salary wasn't huge, but it was more money than his mother had ever earned. Around that time, Daniel met someone. Her name was Sophia. She worked at a fashionable cafe downtown. Sophia was beautiful. People noticed her everywhere she went. Her hair was always perfect. Her clothes looked expensive. Her nails were always painted bright colors. When she smiled at Daniel for the first time, he felt lucky, like he had won a prize. They started dating soon after. Sophia loved talking about the future. You are going to be rich one day, she told him. You are too smart not to be. Daniel believed her. But Sophia didn't like his lifestyle. She didn't like visiting his small apartment. She didn't like the old neighborhood. And she definitely didn't like Mama Grace. She was always polite. But something about her attitude felt cold. One evening, Mama Grace cooked a special dinner for Sophia. She spent the little money she had to buy fresh ingredients. When Sophia arrived, Mama Grace welcomed her warmly. But after tasting the food, Sophia frowned. Oh, I'm not very hungry, she said. Mama Grace smiled politely, but Daniel saw the sadness in her eyes. Still, Daniel loved Sophia. At least he thought he did. 2 years later, he proposed. The ring wasn't expensive, but Sophia said yes. They married in a small ceremony. Mama Grace was the happiest person there. After the wedding, they all lived together. But Sophia hated it. She complained every day. This apartment is too small. The bathroom is tiny. The neighborhood is terrible. Daniel promised things would change soon. And then something incredible happened. Daniel received a job offer from a huge technology company overseas. The salary was unbelievable, but the job required him to move abroad for several years. Daniel hesitated. He didn't want to leave his mother, but Sophia encouraged him. "This is your opportunity," she said. "You can't miss it." Daniel finally agreed. But before leaving, he used all his savings and took a loan. He built a beautiful house for his mother. 3 bedrooms, a big kitchen, a garden with flowers, and a red roof, just like Mama Grace always dreamed about. "This house is for you," Daniel told her. "You will never struggle again." Mama Grace cried with happiness. Sophia promised to take care of her, and Daniel left for his new life. At first things seemed fine. Daniel called every Sunday. Mama Grace always said she was okay. Sophia always said everything was perfect. So Daniel focused on work. He worked harder than ever before. His ideas were brilliant. Within 2 years, he started his own company. Soon his business exploded. Millions turned into billions. But success came with a price. He was always busy, always traveling, always working. 5 years passed faster than he expected. And finally he decided it was time to come home. He wanted to surprise his mother. He imagined her joy. But when Daniel arrived at the house with the red roof, something felt wrong. The place looked different. The garden was messy. The house was quiet. Inside he found Sophia. But Mama Grace was not there. At first Sophia said his mother was visiting a friend. But Daniel knew something was wrong. Rooms were empty. His mother's things were gone. Finally Sophia admitted the truth. Mama Grace hadn't lived there for years. Daniel felt his heart drop. He rushed to the local church where his mother used to go. The caretaker recognized him immediately. When Daniel asked about his mother, the old man looked shocked. "You don't know where she lives?" Daniel shook his head. The man sighed sadly. "She lives in a small hut outside town." Daniel couldn't believe it. His billionaire heart began to shatter. When he reached the hut, he almost couldn't walk. The place was falling apart. Rusty roof, broken walls, no electricity. He stepped inside, and there she was, his mother, sitting on the floor, eating rice from a cracked bowl. She looked weak, thin, older than he remembered. When she saw him, she dropped the bowl. "Daniel!" His knees hit the ground. "Mama!" Both of them cried, and slowly the truth came out. After Daniel left, Sophia changed. She became cruel. She controlled the money. She limited Mama Grace's food. Finally, she forced her out of the house. Mama Grace had lived in that hut for 4 years. For years, while Daniel sent thousands of dollars every month. The pain nearly destroyed him. That night, he took his mother to the best hotel in the city. He promised her something. "From now on, I will protect you." The next day, he confronted Sophia. The marriage ended immediately. Daniel filed for divorce. Then he did something unexpected. He donated the Red Roof House to the church. It became a shelter for families in need. Meanwhile, he built a new home for his mother. Not too big, just comfortable, with a garden, and a porch where she could sit in the mornings. Daniel also built a smaller house next door, because he didn't want to live far away again. Every morning they had breakfast together. Every evening they talked and laughed. And for the first time in years, Mama Grace finally lived the peaceful life she deserved. Success means nothing if you forget the people who sacrificed for you. Money can build houses, but love is what makes them homes. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes in family. And tell us in the comments, what lesson did you learn from this story? See you in the next one.